Yeah, especially on the actually maybe the gang list has been
right. And I think it's important to point out that I know of no such policy that occurs on the mean streets of Cumberland, Rhode Island, or the mean streets of Lincoln, or the mean streets of EG,
right,
or Borrington. I mean, you don't have this type of behavior. So why is it acceptable then to, at this point, why is it acceptable to do this to our children? And again, sorry, you're young enough to be our children. All right, why is it acceptable to put our children and our young people, many of whom have jobs, many of whom are going to school, many of them who are as or more solid citizenry than the members of our General Assembly. I mean, if there's an organization that deserves to be on the gang list, it's clearly the elected officials of the state of Rhode Island. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to spend the next half hour going through this. You are listening to The Coalition on AM 630, AM 99.7 FM. Civilly Disobedient Radio, outrage porn free, loud and proud. We're continuing our series in what we call our Heroes of Civil Disobedience. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The voice of Southern New England, WPRO. And John DePietro.
Chafee is below 1% in the latest presidential poll. Below 1%.
Henry B. Chafee.
That's right. In fact, I think he's at 0.7 or 0%. Well, it's not looking strong. I would say when you're at 0%, that you certainly have your work cut out for.
John DePietro, weekdays 9 till noon, after the morning news, before Dan York, on the voice of Southern New England, News Talk 630 at 99.7 FM, WPRO. From the Seascape Lawn Care Weather Center, here's your exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
Clouds rolling back in tonight. Mild, some fog, below 58. Clouds and fog, and with some sunshine tomorrow. Breezy and warm, high 77. Mild, tomorrow night, below 61. Clouds and fog, and with some breaks of sunshine. Monday, but a shower, thunderstorm around, the high 77.
AccuWeather on the voice of Southern New England. News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM, WPRO.
Beacon Shipping Logistics will ship any car, any vehicle, anywhere in the United States with door-to-door service. Just call 855-3-SHIP-IT. They ship vehicles for thousands of auto dealers throughout the country, so you know you can trust them to provide the most reliable auto transport in the industry. And they offer open or enclosed shipping for your precious cargo. Did you see a car online and can't get there? Let Beacon Shipping ship and deliver it right to your door. Need to get your boat from West Palm to Warwick Neck? Beacon can do it. Call Beacon Shipping Logistics for transporting one car to an entire fleet. Call 855-3-SHIP-IT or beaconshippinglogistics.com for service that shines. Let Beacon Shipping Logistics take the stress out of your life. Beacon Shipping Logistics provides the most honest auto transport service in the industry. Beacon Shipping Logistics, your one source for transporting one car or a whole fleet. Call 855-374-4748 for a free quote or beaconshippinglogistics.com.
The New England Cannabis Convention is coming to Providence May 16th and 17th. The cannabis industry will outpace the global smartphone market next year. So come and get expert advice from over 50 vendors, including doctors, growers, suppliers, dispensaries, and caregivers. 2 full days of panels and workshops, and the best smoking, vaping, and growing accessories available. Saturday and Sunday, May 16th and 17th at the Rhode Island Convention Center in Providence. Tickets are just $25 and can be purchased online at Cannaticket.com. CANNA ticket.com.
Advance Auto Parts knows what makes a car guy a car guy. It's the commitment to maintain an engine through the 300,000-mile mark. It's burning the midnight oil to finish a job most guys would rather hand off. It's loyalty, and it's why there's speed perks from Advance Auto Parts. Spend $100 and get $20 off your next qualified purchase. No cards, no points, no nonsense. Advance Auto Parts, for guys who love getting under the hood.
See store to sign up or visit speedperks.com for details.
Attention Sinatra lovers and Bublé fans. Come fly with Tony Servo Saturday, May 23rd at Dimitri's Foxborough for Tony Servo's fabulous live dinner show. Don't miss Tony Servo's tribute to Michael Bublé. Enjoy a great dinner or just the show. Call now at 508-668-7200. That's 508-668-7200 or visit TonyServo.com. Don't miss a tribute to Michael Bublé starring Tony Servo Saturday, May 23rd at Dimitri's Foxborough.
On Saturday, May 9th, join the Rhode Island Historical Society for Spring Forward, Think Back to the Golden Age of Radio. The evening will feature a sneak preview of their new Rhode Island radio exhibit, including pieces from the amazing private collections of radio enthusiast Len Azermanian and historian Ned Connors, plus refreshments from local restaurants and caterers. Visit springforwardthinkback.com and tune in Spring Forward, Think Back to the Golden Age of Radio at the Rhode Island Historical Society, Saturday, May 9th.
Medi Weight Loss Clinics of Johnston is the one that works. I'm Tara Granahan. If you're ready, Medi offers you the support you need to look better and feel better today. Medi Weight Loss of Johnston teaches you to balance education, appetite management, and activity to lose weight and keep that weight off. You know the summer's right around the corner. Get in shape. Start now. Beach weather is coming. And do what I did. Call Martha at Medi Weight Loss of Johnston. Sometimes you fall off track. You've got to go back. We all do it. 228-6844. Martha at Medi Weight Loss of Johnston. 228-6844. You will find the plan that works best for you with their help. Medi Weight Loss offers value plans for new and existing patients so you can lose more and save more. Call Martha. Find out how you can lose weight in as little as 8 weeks. If you're already a Medi patient, try that value plan. That'll save you up to $224. And patients who use the value plans lost up to 48% more weight. How about that? Call Medi Weight Loss Clinics of Johnston right now. Tell Martha, Tara said, you want to start your journey today. Healthy diet, healthier you. Medi Weight Loss accepts your FSA cards. 228-6844.
From Central Falls to Charlestown and South Kingstown to Swansea, you're listening to Southern New England's most informative talk lineup. Plus, news, traffic, and weather. Never miss it. On News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM.
It's my station.
WPRO.
And yes, we are the Coalition. Loud and proud, outrage porn-free, civilly disobedient radio. Again, Facebook.com/Coalition Radio. On the mighty Twitter, Coalition_radio. Our website where we blog, we post, and live stream, coalitionradio.us. AM 630, 99.7 FM. We will be taking calls. Join us in a few minutes. If you're holding on the line, please stay in there. We've just got a few more facts to go. Joining us again, August and Linda, joining us from PRISM, and we are discussing the Community Safety Act. Best way to sum this up, this strikes me as a pretty much a 21st century elaboration on the American Bill of Rights as it applies to the urban landscape today. And I say that because, quite frankly, whether it be down in New York, where there's some pretty stunning statistics about the arrest rate of the Ute, if you will, within the urban areas, within the actual city of New York as opposed to the outer boroughs, or if you come right up here to little old Rhodey, the same phenomenon seems to be universal. You've got our children, our youth, our young people being stopped in the streets indiscriminately in the name of law enforcement. You know, a regular, let's just say, obliteration of the basic civil rights that we enjoy here in the burbs, if you're, and I'll use the term that I know my libertarian friends hate, if you have white privilege. Yes, if you are fortunate enough to live in E.G. or Borrington or Cumberland or Lincoln, your kids aren't getting stopped on the streets because they've got tats or they've got piercings or they've got the wrong color on that day. You're just not. So again, joining me, of course, is my co-host Dave Fisher, and we've got August and Linda joining us from PRISM. Dave, why don't you pick it up? We had some more questions.
Sure. The Community Safety Act, hopefully an ordinance that the Providence City Council will be passing very, very soon. There's a language access provision here that says the Providence Police Department will have a language hotline, and basically asking that if an officer responds to a call that somebody does not speak English fluently, that they get a qualified translator to that call location and not use somebody's neighbor or a passerby who may happen to speak. I mean, if you know anything about the many different flavors of the Spanish language that go from Guatemala to Dominican to Mexico to, there are subtle and sometimes stark differences in all of those dialects that, just because somebody happens to be a Latino walking down the street, if he's a Mexican and then you're talking to a Guatemalan guy, sometimes the language doesn't really jive, you know. So tell us a little bit about like what brought this about. You know, we're talking about instances of people basically having their words minced by bad translations, right?
Right, yeah. So I guess, like, right, thinking about the Community Safety Act, when we tried to craft it, one of the things was to make it sort of as, right, we want it to be as inclusive of all those different identities people have as possible and all the different ways that people are profiled. And, you know, there is, like, a large Spanish-speaking population in Providence. And then also, a lot of Southeast Asians are profiled as well. And there's a large Cambodian population. A lot of people speak Khmer, and so, you know, we think that like the sort of like the playing ground should be even, right? Like you should be speaking in some, you know, you should be like accommodating someone's whatever language they speak, right? Like.
Well, within even within the Southeast Asian community, I mean, you're talking about Cambodian, Hmong, Thai. You know, I mean, there's each one of these countries has a completely different language at that point. So you can't look at somebody who has, you know, yellow skin and say, "Oh, this is a Southeast Asian, so let me just get a Southeast Asian to speak to them." You have to understand: are they from Cambodia? Are they from Laos? Are they from, you know, before you can even begin to translate for them.
And yeah, and also like, right, if they can't communicate with you, they can't express like what rights they have, right? Like they can't, you know, like I just like, yeah, it's it's just like I feel like, I mean, I feel very strongly about this as an immigrant, but you know, like it's really easy to like bully someone if they don't speak English, like with English, right? Like they don't know what they're signing up for, like they don't know like what's going on, and so like I think it's like super necessary to have,
well, especially people who have recently immigrated. I mean, in some of these countries, you know, as brutal as the police can be in this country, in some of those countries the police are even more brutal. So you know, they have almost a predilection to be very, very scared of the police and very easily intimidated by law enforcement, for sure.
And let's take it one step further. As the father of teenagers, if you're from another country and your children become ensnared, and I use that term intentionally, ensnared in the American legal system, how are you then, if not given some type of access to legal assistance in your native language, how are then you to help your children, in a sense, work their way through the legal system, fairly or unfairly, whether they're there or not, or whether or not they're the subject of just this sort of profiling that seems to be rampant on the streets of Providence? You know, so as a parent, I can speak to probably the utter frustration a first-generation immigrant from Laos or Vietnam or Cambodia might feel in dealing with in a foreign world with a foreign jurisprudence system. I mean, it's got to be insane. Give us some more. This is great stuff.
So there's a provision in here for collaboration with other law enforcement agencies. So I'm assuming that this has a lot to do with, especially ICE, immigration status, things like that. So just speak to us a little bit about, you know, what gave rise to this particular provision in the ordinance.
Okay, yeah, sure. So Providence Youth Student Movement, we're an organization, youth-led, dedicated to ending sort of like the cycles of violence and oppression that affect Southeast Asians in Providence. The history of a lot of Southeast Asians in the U.S. is as refugees from the Vietnam War, right? And so another sort of there's something that we call like, it's like not the school to prison pipeline, but the school to prison to deportation pipeline. So a lot of Southeast Asians who, I guess, sort of were placed in the U.S. They have papers, but they don't have citizenship. And then so like if you get and a lot of them came here as like babies, right? And so like if you get caught up in the system, and sort of once you get caught up in the system, actually you can then be deported because you have, you know, committed a crime in the eyes of the law.
So in many cases we're talking about families who came here as political refugees after the collapse of various Southeast Asian regimes who are here legally, but because they're in this precarious state between citizenship and legal residents, they have to, they're extremely exposed to what can go wrong if someone makes a mistake, someone makes a bad choice, or is perceived as doing that.
Definitely, and that's not fair too, right? Like it was like U.S.